What you sipping?
Some tea, and it's low vibrational today.
Hey guys, this is your host Valkerey Rain, and I'm here with a podcast favorite, Lil Rob.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
Okay, and now today introducing a very new segment that we're just gonna, play around with, a little thing on the side. Who knows? Low key, this is my passive aggressive way of getting Lil Rob to break off and be the superstar that he is.
Is this a soft launch?
A little bit. It's a beta test.
Listen, I don't
it's the
mind
beta
it.
run. So this new segment is going to be called Low Vibrational Tea, where we spill the tea on some low vibrational topics and more.
Exactly.
Yes. So Rob, how do you feel after our first episode?
I'm loving it.
Okay, I got so many DMs about you and how great our episode was. And I was like, I know. I'm like, he's meant for the mic.
My people loved you too. Listen, the voice of the people is.
Everyone loves fun fact, I literally did not like my voice for a very long time. And everyone's giving me compliments. I'm like, what?
Same, because mine sounds like the intro to an R&B song, so.
But it's very sensual, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
listen, let us open up a little ASMR. We making cash on the side.
We can make some coins.
Okay, fix this recession. So today, some low vibrational tea we're going to get into. We have a few topics going on. It's crazy. Like our whole mayor's being indicted. I mean, I don't keep up with the news, the politics. Y'all know this. This is not my zhush. But I was like, do you have any tea on that? Because I have no idea about the indictment.
Why, of course.
I knew you did. That's why I asked you.
Because, you got to be in the political scene. If
Right.
you want your rights, you got to vote. So,
there you go.
Mayor Eric Adams, my party promoter, I like to call him.
Oh, not the party promoter.
Been dipping and doing it throughout the city.
Clearly.
As for who voted for him, I'm still very confused,
Yeah.
All skin folk and kinfolk, and we have seen that with him.
Right.
And it's definitely interesting that all of this is coming out along with the Diddy case in New York. We see
New York is hot.
It is. It's been a great year. J-Lo flop that began at the beginning of the year. Beautiful.
Right.
And then from there, we see everyone getting got.
Right.
And
yeah, it is. It's been a lot happening in New York.
Yeah.
I will say so.
This is the center of a lot of things, and people forget that.
Right.
And to have a mayor who's so involved in the entertainment space, it's a little bit interesting.
Right. Like, he's a hot boy. It's like he waited to get on. He was at them Diddy parties. I bet you.
Oh, I bet you. I bet he also had the case of baby oil. Maybe he went to BJ's to get it.
I don't know, because clearly Costco said, hey,
Costco said, I'm
mind
not
my
in
business.
It.
That ain't me.
They got water. That's it.
Value pack. Oh, my gosh. So I read that he's being accused of funneling like $10 million.
Yes, allegedly. To Turkey. So we see, there's a lot of Turkish businesses popping up in New York City, which is interesting. And we got to figure out, why is that suddenly happening?
I'm dead. So he thought Turkey was off the map and nobody was going to catch it. And I was wondering why I owed New York money this year. I'm like, not.
Yes.
Everyone owed this year, right?
Everybody.
It was crazy.
Because I'm funding his little parties. I want to fund my own party.
Not me tripping and dipping on all these broken sidewalks all over the place. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Very frustrating. So New York's a hot mess, y'all.
It has been.
Y'all pray for us. Not everybody can live here. Just to touch on what you were talking about, like moving to New York is all fun and nitty. It's glamour, it's culture, but you need to have like the self-esteem and the perseverance to live here, because there's always crazy shit going on.
Oh, every single day there's going to be crazy stuff. You have to be prepared for it. Because people come here and they think it's a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
But baby,
it really is Power. Power put me back on. I have not been able to watch SVU since I moved here. And fun fact, in season 2, we'll be having a writer for the SVU come on the show. So definitely, if you want to sit in on that tea, you can. Yeah, I'm very interested to do that. But like things in New York, my first thing that I watched here, by the way, was the Central Park 5.
Yo, that is such a tragic story. As someone who has lived here my whole life, it's crazy to see how someone just lied that one time and ruined these young men's lives.
It's been happening history time after
throughout time. And the thing is up here, people think, oh, it's so different because it's New York. But this is one of the most racist places as well.
Right.
It's more advertised down south. But in New York, you will see some of these folks who live here will let you know. If you ever been to places like Bensonhurst or Howard Beach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we ain't supposed to go there.
Right.
And they make it very clear.
Right. No, it's definitely racism. And I think more so people focus on the classism here.
Yes.
You know, they forget about the racism. They put on the
backseat.
It's
so obvious to them here.
Yeah.
And like for the racism, it is a little bit more discreet just because we're from New York. But historically, we all know New York has been doing their things too.
And I see that there's a lot of black men under attack too. Going back to Diddy, because the whole Diddy, like the correspondence between Diddy and Eric Adams. Who is Eric Adams? Eric Adams. I need to do a British accent to say my name. P. Diddy's in trouble. He's in Brooklyn. Yeah?
Yeah.
He's in Brooklyn right now. And just the media outlets going around that. I saw CNN was interviewing Suge Knight from jail. Yeah. Like mid-conversation, the operator's like, you have 60 seconds left on the call. I'm like, this is so ghetto. Like, what is going on?
It is. Because, like, they're thriving on it, too.
Yeah.
Because
people are eating it up.
They love also to just see black men falling. Let's be real honest.
Yeah, though, and cocky black men at that.
I don't agree with the stuff they were doing, but we know that the American media loves to see a black man's downfall.
Yeah.
So they are eating it up every single day.
Yeah. Kanye's been quiet. So like, And you know what it is too? Puff Daddy, I don't even know what to call him.
Well, because it depends on how old you are. This is my test because I call him Puffy. This Diddy thing, that's a little bit too new for me.
Really? That's well, you're also a New Yorker.
Yeah, that's Puffy.
Because I knew him as Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
That's how. And then now I'm like, Diddy's just faster and easier.
Yeah, and it was like Brother Love or something for him.
Child, Brother Love, I don't know what stage that was. I think he knew what was happening, and he thought if he could just repent and give his soul to God. That's not how repent works.
Yeah, with the love, peace, and hair grease, that was not working.
No, because you're in the jail, like, detoxing right now.
Exactly.
It's insane. But yeah, so for those who don't know, I'm sure everybody know by now. He got caught. He's under investigation for multiple crimes. He's been indicted for sexual trafficking, prostitution, and what else did he get? Do you know?
I just know it was a whole thing of sexual
drug racketeering. He's in a RICO case.
Oh yes, everyone gets a RICO case now,
right?
So
all
like
the rappers,
we see that it's gonna keep happening in the next few weeks. At least I believe so. And that is also going to change the climate of New York.
Yeah.
We're going to see.
How so? In what way?
Because we're often the center of entertainment, and now it's going to deter people, I think.
Really?
From really coming and partying out here, specifically in the city. Because New York State is huge.
Right.
So they're still going to be dipping and doing it in the Hamptons. We know that. But New York City, because the eye is on us and the spotlight.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not going over there anymore. You see. The mayor got caught. Diddy got caught.
Yeah, but baby, y'all on them tapes and the FBI. It's like they've been sitting on this stuff. I went on a nosedive in the dark web. It's not the dark web, but the spiritual hippie train. Are you familiar with Sloan Bella and her videos and her predictions? Oh my God, I'm about to put you on. You're about to be glued to your phone all weekend. So Sloan Bella is a psychic medium that predicted the downfall of Diddy this year. In one of her readings, she was channeling the late spirit of his former wife, Kim Porter. So as a medium, she was having those interpretations with her spirit, and her spirit was telling her like, oh, I believe I was poisoned through and she showed her like this tin cup or this, weird thing. So she was saying how like she believes she was poisoned. It was because she was coming out with a tell-all book for Diddy. And he had her phones tapped, everything wrong. You know, his Asian baby mama was his head of security. So, you know, she was all finger and dipping in there. That's why he married her. And then she also said, and she did this reading, I believe, in the beginning of this year in January. She said around March, something's going to be exposed about Diddy. He's going to go down. Like everything he said is going to expose. And then the people linked to him is going to be exposed. She mentioned up Drake. And then she's like, okay, for some reason, Drake's coming up. He's going to be exposed, and there's going to be a downfall of Drake, too. Kendrick and Drake's beef. Kendrick outed Drake, and it wasn't even tied to Diddy. Allegedly, not yet. We don't know the cards. Know. Then she also said a few years later, Jay-Z is going to go down, too. And
that's
she had
being thrown around now as well.
Yeah, she also, once I watched that video, I saw that video a little bit earlier in the year when my sister-in-law was like, oh, yeah, you should check this out. And I was like, oh my God. But then this past Wednesday, I was going down the rabbit hole. She was talking about Takeoff. And I think I'm going to do like a whole nother episode about this, so I'm not too deep in the web. But everything she predicted was coming true.
Yeah.
And now everyone's been resurfacing and going back into her videos. And when she channeled Justin Bieber's spirit, I don't know if you remember around 2020, Justin Bieber was going through like some type of spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Like there's a lot
he was a born-again Christian.
Yeah,
basically.
a lot of artists I noticed are either talking about God or they're professing their love for God, which I think is beautiful. Yeah. And it's just really, it started making me look at the music industry and how dark it was. And, you know, that clip of Bieber that's going around with Diddy. He was like 16, 15. And apparently he hung out with Diddy over the weekend and his body language was all nervous.
There was a lot of inappropriate things. And this is from back in the day because Miss Wendy Williams herself used to be on the radio. Yes. She got kicked off of Hot 97 for this.
Okay, shout out to Wendy.
She was letting people know this.
Yeah.
And if you look at some of the stuff Diddy did, you kind of are confused at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there was a Mary J video where there's young girls who are dressed kind of like her in, I would say, a scantily clad outfit for a young lady. And they're dancing and gyrating, and I'm looking at this now.
Yes, and Faith Evans has a video too.
Yes, and I'm like, why is there such a proliferation of these young girls in these videos doing these things?
Unlocking a childhood memory. Because now I'm going back to a whole bunch of our hip hop videos. They would have kids dancing in it, and that's our age. And I'm like, oh, that's like me on there. Exactly. But I didn't even. Oh, I need to go back. You know what? This whole thing with Diddy has messed up my whole childhood because they got my childhood in shambles because now all these videos are resurfacing and just showing how nasty and dirty things were. And it just makes me so sad because it's like, you know, and Disney is the devil too, y'all. Okay, y'all want to talk about some low vibrational tea? You know, Disney is buying up everything. All these fucking bundles and mergers. It's not because these companies are, you know, they just want to give us more things. It's because Disney is monopolizing all these companies.
And they're not even allowing people to really create new content anymore, which is also horrible for artists and actors because they're just regurgitating things they already have in their IP.
Yeah.
So people who are going out there trying to write new things, they're not even being recognized anymore.
No.
And then they put it under the guise of, oh, we want to create live action things for representation.
Bye-bye.
And I'm like, all you do is take a white story and then you put us on it.
Yeah.
You don't really make us have our own characters.
Yeah.
And as beautiful as some of them are, like Little Mermaid was beautiful with Halle.
Yeah, you know, y'all who've been watching me long enough know how I felt about it. It was aesthetically beautiful.
And I think a lot of it was well done. The only thing, Sebastian, we could have got a Caribbean person.
Oh my God.
I was so vexed about that.
I'm about to jump out my chair.
Because when I was a child, I swear my theory was Sebastian, that was a Trini man.
He's Jamaican.
He is not Jamaican.
Poor kid.
Listen to that man's accent. He's singing calypso. Okay? He got a steel pan ready. He eating doubles probably.
You know? Because he did sing, because Trinities be singing while they talk.
Exactly. Every time he talks, that voice
but he was
going
meant to
up
be
and
Jamaican. Because the way he used to cuss out, Ariel, your father gonna kill me. And I'm like,
but his voice was going up and down like that. Like, that's a Trini man right there.
Yeah, and you know what kills me even more? The original voice actor was still alive during pre-production and could have done it.
Used him.
Like, come on, it's nobody even on the screen.
Or just spotlight current Caribbean people, as I said.
Thank you.
Machel Montano would have ate that up.
Okay? And the extras that they had in the show had the perfect Caribbean accents. I said,
everybody.
Yeah, I don't even know who the man was who played Sebastian. I know he's embarrassed. He probably quit acting. I would too.
He was just some random biracial man that they wanted to cast.
All these talented Caribbean people.
Yes, but it's the proliferation on TV that we have to have a little mixed person on it. And I know that's funny coming from my mouth.
Box.
But watch any Netflix show. You're going to see. There's a biracial person in that. And speaking of biracial people, that Tia Tamera thing.
Ciao.
Because those are two sides of a coin.
It's a little messy.
It is.
But it's like a nice, okay.
So like, you want to summarize it?
No, I think you should.
Okay, so basically, Tia's going to have a new show.
Right.
And she's talking about her breakup, her divorce with Corey Hardrick. And she says, I wish I could reach out to my sister right now. we're just not that close.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And Tamara lives up in Napa Valley. For those who are familiar with California, that's more Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
And she lives her life at her husband's winery.
Yeah.
And Tia's still in LA in Southern California. So
in the hot life.
Yeah. And for some people, they would think it's just the physical distance.
Mm-hmm.
But that statement there of we're just not that close anymore and I can't pick up the phone to call her.
Yeah.
That's really telling.
And you know what got me was when Tamara was on the red carpet and she was interviewed like, oh, what do you think about Tia's new show? And she's like, oh, well, she didn't tell me. I didn't know. And like, Tamara always be doing that Christian, like, oh, yeah. I didn't know. Tamara, you be there, no, y'all be sharing chromosomes. Like, I know you know. Because It's a connection. And it kind of made me sad. But then I think about the reality show that they had on WeTV.
Yes, and seeing how they treated each other.
Yeah. And it's so funny because in Sister, their characters are literally the opposite of who they are, which I think that was
they were playing each other because Tamara is the more reserved one.
Yeah.
And then Tia, she's the wild card.
She is. There's always yin and yang and they're identical.
And I just like that for them. But I do wonder, like, the roots behind it.
Since we're speaking low vibrational, social media obviously is something where we can look into other people's lives from our lens of what they're showing us. And like right before her divorce, 2022, 2023, I noticed to see like Tia's content, because I follow them both. Tia's content started getting more like on trend with like the younger generation. And she was doing more like self-body imagery, like, self-love, which is amazing. But she was being more sexualized, I saw.
Definitely.
And like more out there. I'm like, less of her family's being shown. I'm like, she's trying to step out. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, Tia, I forgot what sign they are, but I'm like, Tia, you're on your ish right now. And then it's like, Tamara has always been laid back. Even on when she was on The Real, she'd always be like, my husband, we're very Christian. I have my 2 kids. She's very modest.
I think that's the root of it, though, is the husbands.
Yeah.
Because, Tia and Tamara are both biracial twins. And I think that for Tamara, she identifies a lot more with that whiteness.
Yeah.
And for Tia, she's identifying with her blackness a lot more. And I feel like that's a division.
Culturally. Yeah. I can say that too.
Because Tamara's life is centered around her husband. And the friends around her don't look like her.
That's true.
And for Tia, she's been in different spaces. She was on BET on The Game and UPN back in the day.
That's true.
And Tamara was more about, I'm just going to be with Adam.
Yeah.
And that's her whole
She's homely.
And he's a Fox News reporter.
Oh, I forgot about that. Because I remember when they talked about that too, because everybody know how Fox News.
Yeah, and his comments regarding Trayvon back in the day were a little problematic.
Yeah.
Especially because now he has 2 mixed children.
Yeah.
One of them being very visibly black.
Yeah, versus his son who has more of his white features.
Yeah, which
both
they
of their
weirdly
white features.
praise.
You think so?
Oh, yes. Because Tamara was very fixated on that, I felt like, when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
That I'm going to have this white baby. He's going to be light and bright.
See,
I never got God gave her a daughter who is not only darker than her and has more African features
she
grows up.
You want to hear a low vibrational intrusive thought?
What?
Who cares? It's my podcast.
Yeah.
So I used to know a lot of, growing up in the PWI back home, I used to know a lot of white girls who would always like say, oh, I have a black boyfriend. Oh, I have a black boyfriend. Oh, I can't wait to have mixed kids. I'm going to have mixed kids. My kids are going to be like you. They're going to be mixed. They're going to be light. And when they do have children for these black men, I love it when I see that their baby's complexion is so chocolate and their hair is 4C, but their baby looks like caramel cocoa latte, which is, because I'm like, bitch, you thought. Understand black genetics. And also, let's talk about the Eve gene.
Yes.
A full black woman is more likely to have a full white baby with another white man and have more white features than your full white self and a black man.
Yeah.
First of all. And second of all, you were over here thinking you were going to get a Mariah Carey someone light and bright, hair curly, wavy. That's not how it always is. Sometimes their hair is kinky. You need to immerse yourself into the Black community. Learn how to do that for hair. Learn about twist styles. What did you think? A wash and cut was not going to be your life.
Nope. And that's why you could always tell the difference between us. If your mama Black, your hair done.
Yeah.
If your mama white, well, we'll leave that there.
She tries.
Kids. Oh, some of them don't even try.
I think nowadays there's a thing. Can I tell you? Some low vibrational tea. I'm gonna have no Facebook friends. I had a friends from high school, white, of course.
Mm-hmm.
They adopted a Black little girl, which, I'm like, okay. I guess I had followed one of the braiders we were looking into. You know how you just follow people just to follow because you like their braid style?
See.
And she just asked me, oh, have you used them? Have you used them before? I'm like, no, but I think they're pretty good. So mind you, I was closer with the white male. So this is a white male I knew. I'm like, this is interesting. Because naturally, as a Black woman, I feel like, oh, you have one of our children there.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about who you were in high school and just little things like that. I'm just like, okay, but for them, they were good people. They're like very nice and kind. I'm just like, okay. And I've seen a couple other ones. I'm like, okay, I don't remember you being so like that. But, people change. And I just thought it was and I was like, oh, you're doing your hair. Like, is there any tips? Or like, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And he got like defensive. I'm like, sir,
you're
like
not
defensive.
Born knowing.
Yeah, I'm like, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions regarding your daughter. Congratulations to you. Like something real slide, not too imposing, not too much. And he kind of got defensive, like, oh no, I'm good. I don't need your help. Yeah, we're doing. I'm like projecting. I'm like, sir, and I'm just like, and I think they stopped fostering her and gave her back too, or something like that.
That's telling.
Yeah. So I was just like, I don't know. When I see, especially here in Park Slope.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I'm a product of this neighborhood, Park Slope.
Okay. When you see Prospect Park and, when you come on the Flatbush side versus the Prospect.
Yeah.
Okay. And that division right in the middle in the big lawn. You
could see it.
And I'm just like, oh. When I came here, I was like, oh, there's a lot of Black children. Yes. I said, oh, where's his mom? I'm like, oh, that's his mom. I'm like, okay. Yeah. It's like, it's New York. You see every type of flavor here. But it's just like, I always do a double eye, just like making sure like the baby got lotion on, like you're really taking care of this kid. Yes.
I'm so big on that, and
like I'm clocking it. I don't know, is that racist? Am I racist?
I don't know because I kind of do the same thing, but it's just from personal experience.
Like it's like almost like you see your tribe and you just want to protect them, and like make sure you're okay.
And for me, it's a little bit different because it's the Black and Hispanic mix.
Yeah.
Even though some Hispanics are white, and that is a clarification I always like to bring.
Yeah.
Because my daddy could not say certain words. I will check him on that.
Why? Is it because con leche is too much or what?
Yeah, I think my father's a white Hispanic. I'll say that.
Okay.
But it's a very different thing being, I guess, like Anglo-white and Black as a mixed person. Because I don't know that experience very much.
Yeah.
And having a Black mother meant my hair was done. I just know certain things. I moisturize.
Yeah.
But these kids in Park Slope often have the white mom, Black dad combo.
Yeah.
And your culture really comes from your mom, I feel like.
Yeah, because she does the upbringing.
Yeah.
Sure. She teaches you certain things.
And that's why, like, even in Tia and Tamara's case, their mom is a Bahamian woman.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they were more acculturated into that.
Yeah. I did think it was very interesting with them how one had a black husband, and another had a white husband. Their children, like some are 75% Black, the other are like 25. Yeah, when you do the math. Well, technically that's not how genetics work, but y'all get it.
But I know what you mean.
And it's just like, and it's cute how they all mix up and they're different. And what I think maybe it's because of their level of celebrity. I never saw the internet pitting them against each other per se, like their children, like how they would pit North against Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
I know why though.
¿Por qué?
Because Blue Ivy has more prominent African features.
Yeah.
And that featureism is real.
It was, because her dad, she's very, but now that she's like aging, I can see like more of her mom coming in.
Yeah.
Too, because it's also like she's going through puberty. Like I love how Blue Ivy's just developing.
She's
I'm like,
so amazing.
She's the internet's niece.
And I just used to hate when people used to talk about that baby's hair because it was so beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm like, y'all children's hair look like Blue Ivy.
Exactly.
Embrace it. Just because you mix yourself with Black and you think you're just going to have the perfect even when you see Blasian children.
Yes.
Blasian, Blasians are beautiful. Black and Asian genetics, when they fight in other races, they win, obviously.
Yeah,
but when they come together, baby, okay, it's just like, I'm like, maybe this is what God looked like. I think God Blasian. If he was, I don't know.
Oh, no, my God is an awesome God. He reigns, and that is a brother. Same thing with Jesus. Okay.
All right.
Hair like wool.
That's another, okay. You're right. That's another episode, too. But I'm just like with Asians and Black people come together, it's like sometimes you'll see the genetics, like they have a full Asian face, but their hair is still port C.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. People have these misconceptions about Blackness. But but back to Tia and Tamara, I just really hope that they could come together as sisters. You could tell, because just like friends and sisters, like Tia's obviously going through something.
Yeah.
And Tamara's living her life. And I feel like they're cancers, right?
Yeah.
Cancers love to
that.
Okay. They love to be in love. They love to be in their family. It's the natural mother. So she's in her bag in Napa. That's her happy place. That's what I seem has always been her theme. And Tia has always been like someone who likes to break out and be free and free flowing. That's what I got from her,
and
too.
And adult relationships with your siblings change so much because that's a person you were with every single day in your home.
Yeah. Career life.
And then as you grow up, you go your separate ways and create your own identities.
Yeah.
And for me, I have a boatload of siblings. I love them all.
Yeah.
But as we become adults, we're cultivating our own identities.
And lives, yeah.
And even if we're not speaking every single day, I still know I could reach out to them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that feels like to say, oh, I can't reach out to my sister.
And it's not just a sister, it's your identical twin at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's such a different bond that I wouldn't understand.
Right.
Because my sister and I are super close.
Yeah.
And if I couldn't pick up a phone and call her, I'm be like, what shall I do?
I think they're going through something. And Tamara was like, listen, Tia, you being messy. I can't. And Tia got mad at Tamara and they're just not talking.
I think that could be it. She's just like, this is a lot for me.
And
I need to back on up and just sip my wine up in Napa.
Clearly. It must be delicious, too. Oh, my gosh. Right? I love the tea.
I would get that wine, but I need to see the political background and where this money is going to beforehand.
Oh, just saying. Gosh. It's so messy. Election day is in like another month.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm nervous. Are you pre-voting?
No, I would like to vote in that moment just to make a statement,
As you should pulling up. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. I might get my hair done, make an event out of it, because I know Kamala's going to get her nice press and curl.
Oh, my gosh. I feel like a lot of people were saying there might be civil unrest. It's like we're choosing between, do we want to have a war in America or a war outside of America?
I think, yes, there might be some political unrest, but as the world is growing, I think we are just so ready to have a Black woman lead things. This is what we've needed for such a long time.
Yeah.
And as someone who grew up under the Obama administration, to see a Black man lead in this country was so beautiful. Yeah. And yes, we can still have our critiques on the politics of them, but we need to get them into office. It's the lesser of two evils right now. So it's like, I need Kamala in there. And once she's in there, then I could slide my notes across the table and be like, so girl, what are we doing about police reform?
Right.
How are we donating our money to different countries?
Yeah.
But we need her in there.
Have you ever thought about running for office here locally?
Absolutely not.
No?
Oh, no, because I love to speak about it. I love to teach people, help the people, but to have the optics on you all the time would be incredibly difficult.
You can't live your life. You can't slide out and do no bachata at night.
No, because I like to live.
Yeah.
The dipping and doing it. I like to be outside.
Yeah, it's like fame. Like, as much as I want my podcast to be successful, like, I'm Gucci at it getting to a certain level. Because when it's too much, it gets spiritually taxing for me.
Yeah.
Too much energy.
Because even like me, I've had a substantial social media following over the past decade. And that is good enough for me. I'm cool with a few folks recognizing me outside.
No, baby, we popping off. You the new Wendy. We need to get a purple chair in here.
Listen, and I used to have a purple chair to teach in. This is my favorite little fun fact. Because I ordered a high purple chair.
I'm dead.
And put it at the front of my class. And at least that first 10-minute segment of that class was low-key hot topics for me.
Okay. Because I love it.
I just need that in my life.
What hot topics would you be doing with the kids?
Well, because it's history. So I need to set the scene, the story. So like I would teach about when I was doing American history, I would do the Declaration of Independence as a breakup letter.
Okay.
So I used to pick it up as if a kid wrote it. And I was like, ooh, y'all, someone wrote something. Let's see. And I would open it up and I was just reading it. Yeah, we're not really getting along. You know, we've been together. You're not really giving me my money. And all of this. And then I'd finish it and I'd be like, so this is the Declaration of Independence, just in our own words. So let's learn. They would eat it up every time.
I'm eating it up. I want you to read the letter.
And every year I would do a different breakup letter.
I love that.
Yes. And then after a while, I'd get the older kids to write it. So it'd be different handwritings. And they never told the younger grades. And every year they'd eat it up.
Oh my God. Y'all just got some history tea. You need to like teach. Yeah. That I would love to get your little history hot takes. Okay. What is one of your low vibrational history hot takes that you've learned about?
My low vibrational history hot takes. I really have a love for W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay.
Despite him being a little problematic at times.
In what way?
Oh, because him and Booker T. Washington used to beef.
Okay.
It was very much the upper class, light skin from the North, which is W.E.B. Du Bois, and then Booker T. Washington, he was more based in the South, and he was like, hey, we need to get into school, but trade schools, because we need to work with what we got.
Gotcha.
And then W.E.B. Du Bois was like, nah, I want to do this higher education for everybody. But he had this concept of like the talented 10th, which was like the top 10%. And I kind of am interested in it because we see it today, I feel like.
In what way?
Oh, the HBCU circle. Oh, girl. If you ever been around the HBCU folks.
Oh, I have. The FAMU.
Yes. And I love them. I was supposed to go to one, but then the money was funny. Oh. Howard, honey. Okay. Thank God I didn't go because them dorms are crazy. But we see the elitism all the time. Because if you just go up to Harlem and you see a turtleneck with a chain and Chelsea boots and some skinny jeans, you know what's coming your way. And you see it's still the same shit, different day. So, like, that's why I love looking at history, because I'm like, we really had the same people.
We've been doing
just in different fonts.
Now, let me ask you a question while we're on history. So, the Spanish influenza that happened in the early 1900s, it kind of mirrored 2020. And a lot of people were saying how the world is repeating itself, but just in a different era, in a different way.
Yeah, history always does.
Do you feel that way? Like it's consecutive, like year to year? Or
I don't think it's consecutive year to year, but there's a cycle. Because if we're speaking on the scientific end of things, so when new diseases come out, people, they get it, then they gain immunity after a while. And that's how it happens. But after a few generations, something else is going to come out. We need to do it again. So that's a scientific cycle in that.
Gotcha.
But for everything else, it's just because folks don't read and listen. They don't be paying attention.
We don't. Everyone goes to the comments, to TikTok.
And I'm just like, the critical thinking be out the window sometimes. So that's why we repeat things again and again in history.
Yeah.
And we see the same results because humans have this innate desire to just be themselves and not listen to others, because it's this individualism a lot of us have.
Very much so.
But we also need to learn to work together because we are social creatures.
That part.
And part of being a social creature is listening to others.
Yes.
And learning from others.
Yes.
And there are some people who do not do that at all. And that's something you can work on in therapy. Not with me.
Okay. Speaking of therapy, I think we should segue to the lowest vibrational tea topic of the week, which is Cardi and Offset's breakup. Not sure if you saw the messiness.
I sure did.
The therapy. Ooh. The Libras. She said, when a Libra start Libraing.
Listen, she was into it. She was telling all the tea on him.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
How did that make you feel?
Because I was loving it. Because allegedly she was doing stuff on the side herself. And
while pregnant.
Yes, while pregnant. Making a bounce house in there. That's crazy.
Rattling the eggs. Well, it's a lot. It's like, I didn't like how he was trying to like shame her on that in a way, but it is kind of like, I think they were still technically married. Or going through the divorce.
He was having stuff on the side.
That's true.
That's why he was having the chicken and the biscuit, the rice and the beans.
Yeah.
All of it. So the men can do it, but then when women do it, they're so criticized.
They are criticized. And I think that's why she was coming at him the way she does. But I'm also thinking, I'm like, when I see stuff like this, celebrity aside, I think of the woman and I think of the man, right? I just see them as people. And I'm going back into the year of her, because she also had another episode where she was on live cussing him out and crying. You remember that? And it's like she was hiding her pregnancy at the time. And I remember her saying in a line, she's like, he's doing all this stuff, just make me upset. And he knows. And she stopped herself. And like in the videos that the clips I was seeing, I'm like, does that, everyone's just pouring into the tea all toxic and just living their lives through it. But I'm just like, you guys don't see that this is a woman crying. And then now to know that she was pregnant going through this and she had a difficult pregnancy where her and her baby were at risk and stuff like that. And now, like, she just gave birth. She gave birth in the beginning of this month. Yeah. On the 7th.
And, like, my thing is people are so quick to just sip the tea and not think about the person behind it. Yeah. And I love the gossip. I love it. But also, that's a human being, as you said. And so many women, we might know a few, who stick with these men who
a lot of us in the comments
aren't doing anything for them and are just hurting them consistently.
But they want to tell Cardi what she needs to do with her life.
Exactly. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander as well.
I love it. Cool. I swear to God, I would make T-shirts off of your sayings.
Oh, I have all the sayings for years. Because if the man can be dipping and doing it with all these women, why can't she do that with men? I'm not saying it's okay. But because of our patriarchal society, we think that low-key polygamy is okay.
Right.
For men.
I mean, exactly. Because even on an unreleased episode, Candace mentioned how, you know, a lot of the tribes in the history, it was like women were polygamous as well.
Yes. And there's so many of them because that when women have multiple men was frowned upon simply because there was no paternity test back then. That's what it was. So you couldn't determine who the daddy was.
Okay, no child
Now
support.
we're good.
Right.
You could call up Maury. I know he retired.
First of all, Maury loves to do a DNA test. Remember when Maury was good? When you would stay home after school, you would get like the different like drag queen shows.
Yeah, or my favorite
the
was
boot camps.
The kids who used to act up, talking about, I'm 12 years old and I don't listen to my mama and I don't go to school.
I'll punch her in the face.
What's she finna do? And I used to watch it like, wow, she's still living? Yeah. Because I would end up on a t-shirt with my head in the clouds.
Okay, gone. What? My Haitian mother, what? She would always threaten to send me back to Haiti. And as a kid, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to go back. But now I'm thinking about it as an adult, I'm like, you can't send me to Haiti. I don't even have no passport. Right. That's child abandonment. They would take you, but these kids know these things now.
Oh, no. My mother used to say, you will go up to glory. Look at me, young man. Going up yonder, we'll play and we'll have refreshments afterwards in the church basement. Okay. Do not play me.
Right? We miss that fear. But I'm like, Cardi is literally going through postpartum right now.
Yeah.
She's literally going through postpartum. Everybody knows. I don't know if she was in the club too. She's going through it. Everybody's going through it right now. But it's just to see them going back and back and everyone was like, oh, he ate it up when he said, well, you're my baby mama. I won. Stuff like that. I'm just like, I see ego on his side. And it was so weird, like, when she showed the screenshot of them texting, and then he's just calling, like, oh, can I call you and jack off? I'm just like, I don't know. Everybody's relationship is different. But I'm just like, it's giving sexual demons on you. It's giving,
that's what it is.
I need to cleanse my soul. And he's going through trauma, too. He lost his brother. He's still going through grief. And I feel like people forget all these things because social media is so, like, 30 seconds.
And they look at these toxic relationships and people just find it funny all the time.
Or normalize it. Think it's normal.
They do. And especially if the man is acting up. If the woman's acting up, oh, get rid of her immediately.
Right.
Burn her at the stake, basically. But if a man's doing it, they're like, oh, that's what he does. Ha, 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 ki. And I think of it like with Jeannie Mai and Jeezy.
Oh, yes.
Not too long ago.
Woo.
And I was like, that's a complicated thing in itself. But definitely reading all the messages of how he bruised her up.
Oh.
And talking about like he has some firearms around in the home that the baby got a hold of. And I was like, people just excusing that. Yes, she might have said and did her things in the past, but two people could both do wrong things. It's not just a one-sided thing. And that's where the critical thinking needs to come in.
Right. Thank you, teacher. Oh, I love that. When that educator slide back in.
Listen, You got to remember.
Do you have siblings? Female and male siblings?
Yes. So I'm one of 4. So I'm the youngest.
The baby.
Yeah. So right before me is my sister. And then I have my 2 older brothers.
Great. Perfect person to talk this to. So I grew up with all men, right?
Yeah.
So, kids, we fight. We fight. And plus, my family, we like anime. We like Power Rangers. We would always battle play. Yeah. You have brothers. I'm sure you guys would play the same way.
I used to get body slams.
Oh yeah, you're the baby. We used to attack my little
brother. Talking about WWE.
Oh yeah, flips, all that stuff. So as a woman, I naturally, as a person and as a woman, I naturally will never allow myself to get angry to the point where I am actively hitting somebody. I will walk away.
Yeah.
Unless if I'm defending myself. But I feel like a lot of these women who didn't grow up with brothers or have a male figure are so comfortable with hitting men just because they're frustrated and you're arguing. You guys want to fight just like that, Rihanna. That's a Caribbean thing too. These women, they'll cut up and hit their men. But I'm like, me as a woman, if I'm so irate to the point where I'm going to hit someone, I am ready to fight. As in both hands are up. I'm ready to duck and dive and hook if I need to. Because I'm not going to expect that this man is not going to beat back on me.
Yeah.
Just talking domestic violence wise. And I think people think emotionally just because someone's saying something about me, I need to take the high road and not say something back. And then by Cardi speaking back or hitting back with her words, people are just shocked. Especially because she just gave birth and she's a mother.
Yeah,
so
and they feel like she should be shut down.
Yeah.
But the hands are rated E for everybody.
Okay.
Everyone can get it. And I think that's what she needs to be doing.
Yeah.
And for me, I grew up mostly with my sister because we're close in age and my mother. So I was surrounded by these very strong women. And I know that women, once they are scorned and upset, it is over for you. They have receipts.
And she's a Libra.
Yep. And they've been waiting and sitting on it. And they're like, okay, bet. You want to act funny? I'm going to be hilarious.
Ooh,
try me.
Hilarious. And she's like, and did. I'm like, and why are y'all forgetting who Cardi is? Before she was famous, she had this outlandish, outspoken personality to begin with. And you thought
it was going to change? She's a regular schmegular girl from the Bronx.
Right. And she's, I'd be forgetting she's from the Bronx. She is from the Bronx.
Oh, I never forget that. That's very Bronx energy.
Right? So it's like, this is who she is. Let her rock. And honestly, I feel like people should just kind of weep for Offset really a little bit more sometimes for Cardi, because I feel like Cardi has a sense of what she's trying to do and what she wants. She's just tired of being hurt, but she's my sister planet. So her Libras are ruled by Venus too. So we're very much so lovers and sensual, but I feel like Offset has just something on him, and I just feel bad, and I don't like to see it.
I feel bad for both because he reminds me of a lot of men who have sexual trauma in their lives that are unresolved. A lot of men in our community love to brag about their experiences at young ages. And I'm like, oh, that was a crime.
That was sexual assault. That was
talking
rape.
About, I was with the babysitter down the street. She was 20-something. That's weird.
You're 12. Yeah, that's not a flex.
I'm just like, can I hold your hand and let you know,
we need to unpack this.
Those crimes are considered especially heinous. Done.
Come
Bitch,
on. Not the fucking sound effects.
Because it's and it's so regular in our community sometimes for men to brag about that. And I look at him and I'm like, who hurt you?
Right, who touched
that
you?
You need to constantly show that you need to be
dominating,
a sexual deviant almost with these women. And no one wants to talk about that with men.
Yeah.
Because sexual trauma amongst men is something that's hidden, especially in the Black community.
Yeah, for sure.
And historically, we have been abused in many circumstances. Yeah. We think back to slavery as well.
Yeah, the term motherfucker.
Yeah,
came from
or
slavery.
Buck breaking.
Oh, Jamaica. That's why they don't do
camps.
that. Yep.
And people don't understand. That's why we have certain cultural things. If you look at Jamaica, the whole boom bye bye and a bati boy head, chi chi man, burn them down, because that stems from trauma. And people need to understand.
Break it down. We kind of glissade over it because I know what you're talking about. But for the people who don't know what buck breaking camps were,
so buck breaking, that's where the white masters would sexually abuse the Black men who were newly coming from Africa into the Caribbean.
Yep, they
would
break their spirits. They would take the biggest, just like jail yard behavior, the biggest, toughest guy and break them down, the leaders of the tribes, anybody who held power, they would sodomize them either with items or themselves in front of the tribe. And rape their women in front of them,
all
the
of
queens.
This trickles down, I think, because in our genetics and our DNA, that trauma lives.
It does.
And the things that we do are affected by it. And sexual trauma, I think, is something we need to talk more about in the context of men.
Yeah.
Because it is talked about with women, yes, and that needs to be recognized. But a lot of our young boys, we need to watch out for.
Yeah.
And I always think of, like, there was this clip with Bernie Mac back in the day where the character who played Jordan was asked to sit on his lap. And he was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And he backed up.
He was like, no.
That's not appropriate. And he spoke to him briefly. And in that moment, it locked in that kid's eyes like, Uncle Bernie looking out for me.
Yeah. A lot of people don't take accountability for that. Well, I don't even want to say take accountability, but it's like you said, it's trauma.
Yeah.
And they're just patching
we just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of shame surrounding it because men are supposed to be so strong. And that's why so many men want to sleep with everyone.
Yeah.
You know, one up the road, one that's foreign, one in the home.
Yeah.
And
you could tell she's trying to kind of break away from the chaos in spite of her own mental health and her children. But sometimes it's like those who are drowning, it's like they're trying to bring you down with them. Like, for instance, Chrisanne Rock just came out of prison. She's with her child. She's been very low. And I think it's because, Blueface still locked up.
Yeah.
But I've been seeing her starting to do like a press media circuit on Christian channels. And I can tell looking at her, like, I'm like, okay. She's, I can tell she's kind of back realigned. Maybe that time helped her. She has her implant out, which I'm like, so you could put the implant back in. She has her face tattoo covered up.
Or like people like Black China.
Yeah.
Reclaiming her birth name, Angela White. And
she just celebrated 2 years sobriety.
Yeah. And to see people on these journeys is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Because when you regain yourself, if you're suffering with sobriety and you're able to find yourself again, that's also something that's not spoken about a lot. Because people don't recognize that people are struggling with sobriety.
Yeah.
They want to party and drink all the time and do other things. And they think, oh, that's no problem. Yeah, in moderation, I get that. But there's people who are really struggling and they're masking it every day.
Yeah.
And they're going to their jobs like nothing.
Yeah. And when they have partners and these partners want to bring them down, just to circle back to Chrisanne, it's just I'm concerned about when Blueface is out. Because every time he has access to her, it's just...
Yeah, these women and their partners can ruin them. Like, even to circle it back to when I was speaking about Wendy Williams. Like, that sobriety journey.
Oh, I know, Wendy.
Because she was heavily involved in cocaine. And then as her husband came around, she had stopped, but... him just cheating constantly brought her back into a new addiction of alcohol. And alcohol is so normalized in our culture.
I feel like her husband might be called into that Diddy stuff.
Kelvin is his legal name. Let's clarify that. Kelvin Hunter might have been involved. He was a party promoter always from Brownsville.
Oh, wow.
And he was very much in the scenes because I know all the Brooklyn tea. All you got to do is call me. Beat me if you want to reach me.
Who do you think? Do you think Jay-Z's involved?
I don't know, to be honest, because for Jay-Z, yes, he was involved in that space in the 90s. But as soon as the 2000s hit, he was breaking off into his own thing.
Yeah.
And his whole brand became being a businessman and being involved with his wife. And he kind of broke off from them, maybe early on. Because Jay-Z also had his own things. Like, why was he with a young Foxy?
Yeah.
Foxy was 17 years old. She is from Park Slope at that, right from St. Mark's.
Okay.
And she was picked up out of here at a party one day because he was like, oh, this is a pretty young lady. And she started rapping and had the talent. And it was just, what was going on with this young girl in those spaces? And Kim was also only 18. But...
even Aaliyah, all of them.
Yeah.
It goes and it goes. Well, I think this was a good first entry of Low Vibrational Tea.
It sure was.
Definitely. I can't wait to have you come back more and we could talk a little bit more.
Yes, I love speaking with you.
Yes. Listen, y'all, this is a beta test. Rob's going to have his own show. When he's ready to announce, he'll announce.
Listen, the soft launch. I'm learning right now.
Okay, it's just a beta test.
Got to get my purple chair.
Okay. Josh said he's going to get us a purple couch next.
Yeah, I know that's right.
He's working on it. All right, bye, guys. We'll talk to you soon.